What if the reason your manifestation hasn't shown up yet has anything to do with timing, nothing to do with blocks, and everything to do with who you are being when no one is watching? Here's the real question. If manifestation really worked the way most people think it does, why do some people get results effortlessly while others visualize, affirm, and wait? And wait. And wait. Stay with me, because the answer may completely change how you approach manifestation from this moment forward. Let me ask you something first. Have you ever noticed how hard you're trying to manifest, yet how normal it feels for others? Why does effort feel heavy, while alignment feels natural? Here's the missing piece that most teachings will skip over. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest which matches your identity. Now let's think about this in everyday terms. You don't wake up and affirm that you are allowed to drive a car. You just drive. And you don't visualize being allowed to speak your native language. You just speak. Why? Because those actions already belong to who you believe you are. So now, ask yourself this question. If your desire was truly a part of your identity, would you still be trying so hard to get it? Think of your identity like the operating system on a phone. You can download as many apps as you want, affirmations, scripting, vision boards. But if the operating system isn't compatible, then those apps won't run smoothly, or they might not run at all. So most people are trying to manifest wealth from the identity of someone who struggles, and trying to manifest love from the identity of someone who waits to be chosen, and trying to manifest peace from the identity of someone who expects things to go wrong and chaotic. And then they wonder, why is it taking so long for my desires to show up in the 3D world? And here is the truth that most people don't want to hear. The delay that you are experiencing is not punishment, but the delay is your feedback. So your reality is faithfully reflecting who you believe you are, and it's not reflecting what you say you want. So let us answer the big question. Why does manifestation feel delayed in the physical world? Because the 3D world that we are all living in does not respond to our desires. It only responds to the consistency of being. So if your inner world is still rehearsing things like phrases you might say, I hope this works, or maybe one day, or I'm almost there, then the outer world can only mirror almost. It can't get you there. So manifestation becomes effortless when the identity shift happens first. And we've talked about this in other videos. The world doesn't need convincing once your state has been stabilized. So ask yourself this: who would I be if this was already normal for me? So that's not getting overly excited or pacing back and forth because you're waiting for things to show up. You're not checking for signs. You're not checking for evidence. You're just normal. So you might not know what I mean. So let's make this more practical, because insight without application obviously changes nothing. So we're going to start acting from identity, not our emotions. So most people wait to feel confident before acting, whereas identity actually works in reverse. So you would ask yourself, what would the version of me who already lives this reality do today? And then do one small, ordinary action, not something dramatic or not something that feels forced, just something small that would bring you closer to your desire. So if it was confidence, like we talked about, confidence isn't loud. Identity is actually a quiet process. So you just have to step into that identity. Okay, the next one, let's look at change. Stop announcing the change. When identity shifts are real, they don't need validation. So if you feel the urge to tell people what you're manifesting, ask yourself, am I sharing this with other people from certainty? Or am I trying to seek reinforcement from them? So the most powerful identity shifts happen privately, and there's no pressure to perform for other people because you're keeping it to yourself. You want to tell them about it after it's happened, that's fine. But when we're in the process, you don't need the reinforcements from other people. Now, one thing you're going to need to do is change your inner language starting immediately. So if you're using phrases that are saying things to yourself like, I'm trying, I hope, one day, like I said, these are still signals that tells your consciousness that you are in waiting. So you don't want to do that. You want to replace them with some sort of a neutral certainty. So you could reword it to say, this is unfolding. This is my new standard now. And this has already been decided. So you don't put a lot of emotion. You're trying to make it actually just feel factual to you. It's not about getting all hyped up, and it's not about dramatizing something that feels like you're not being real to yourself. You just need to bring certainty into your inner language. Now, we want to make sure that we normalize our desires. So ask yourself this curiosity question and say, if this was already a part of my life, would I still be obsessing over it? Probably not. So normalization collapses the resistance that you are feeling. And I did have a video that helped you with this, getting it into a more familiar state. And if you look at the video called The Looping Technique, this can help you make it feel more normal, so that you can accept it as part of your reality without it feeling so forced or feeling so unfamiliar. And once you can do that, you'll be ahead of the game. And we're going to detach ourselves from any old identities in our timeline. So, old identities usually cannot follow you into your new reality if you want something different in your future. So, old identities always love deadlines. They love deadlines, and they might be asking you in your internal mind thoughts like, why isn't it here yet? Is this even working? Where did I do it wrong? Whereas your new identity is not going to negotiate with time, because they assume that it's inevitable. And having inevitability removes all the pressure that you might be feeling, and it removes the delay. It helps things move faster. So here is the final question that I want you to sit with. What part of your identity still needs proof before it allows you to believe? Just try and answer that quietly to yourself. What part of your identity still needs proof before it allows you to believe in what is possible for you? Because once your identity shifts, then manifestation no longer chases you, or you don't chase it. It just simply catches up. And when you no longer need the result to confirm who you actually are, then that's when the physical world finally agrees and the pieces of the puzzle start to come together. So remember, identity first, reality second. If this video happened to resonate with you and you are ready to stop trying and start being, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. More teachings like this are coming. I want to help you try to get the method that works for you, where your identity just clicks into place. So you don't become who you want after the manifestation arrives. You manifest what you decide you are first. So I hope this video has helped you, and I will see you on the next video.